Chasing money ain't the same nowadays. A lot of niggas ain't the same nowadays. Flip game ain't the same nowadays. No, nothing ain't the same nowadays. Chasing money ain't the same nowadays. A lot of niggas ain't the same nowadays. Flip game ain't the same nowadays. No, nothing ain't the same nowadays. 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 Nowadays.
Welcome back to another episode of Nowadays. This is your host, Seldom Scene. Alongside of me is Blacksmith 24/7 as usual.
What's up? What's up?
We want to get into this week. I just thought I'd change it up a little bit. We are live streaming on YouTube, so if you go to CDC Indie Radio on YouTube, you can join the chat there. If you don't want to call in, you can watch. We have like some ads with different podcasts that we have now, and I'll also be displaying the artists that we have on our rap, hip hop East Coast station. So that's another way for us just to broadcast and advertise what we have going on our station. So today's topic is religion, and I got a little, I don't know if we could say the word, because I was told that they kind of, they're censoring certain words now, so you can't say the V word, you can't say the C word, so that's why people are saying the jab. So we're talking about religion, the jab, and more. What are your beliefs? Can we accept the truth? And would you prefer to lead or follow?
The V word was the V word.
Don't get it pulled, man. The V word is vaccinations, man. Hopefully YouTube don't flag us. I've been hearing a lot of people getting flagged because they're using this word. Again, we're here just to have an open discussion. Nobody's going to point the finger at anybody, man. Your choice is your choice. You have to respect everybody's choice. You know, whatever you choose to do with your life is your business, your decision. I believe more than a few people have said, what is your body is your choice, but it doesn't really seem to be that way now. So this is why we're going to have this conversation today, just an open discussion. Just dig in, man. Again, we're not trying to offend anybody, so come at us with an open mind, just the same way I will. It's not about being disrespectful. It's just about listening, opening your mind up a little bit, man, and hear what another person has to say.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Let me see. Trying to get this thing going right, man. So, again, y'all got to bear with us. Everything is ain't really too new to us now, but, you know, we have different podcasts, so we're growing. You know, as we grow, we learn as we go. And we're gonna make some mistakes. That's what this is all about. So we are looking for other artists, whether it's music, comedy. You want to do a podcast, news, sports. Give us a shout out, man. Give us a call, 315-925-7262. Send us an email at c2cindieradio@gmail.com. Let us know what you're into, and we'll get in touch with you. So let's get on this topic. I hope I don't offend anybody, man, but I'm going to start off with the religion. You know, my children, I didn't raise them in a religious household, but we've always had our discussions about it. I told them the same way I was given a choice. I gave them a choice whether or not they wanted to follow a religion or not, what they want to believe in. You know, I tell them what I believe in. And at the same time, I tell them you have to go out here, search and seek, you know, for yourself. Believe what I'm telling you, because as your father, I'm not going to tell you anything wrong. But at the same time, you still have to question it to a certain extent, because is everything that I'm saying true? And how do you know it's true? You know, I may have been told some wrong information, and now I'm passing it down to you. So you don't know, and you will never know unless you go and seek for yourself. So this is how I raise my children. I myself, again, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I do believe that there is a higher power. Don't know who, what it is. I would like to know. In my opinion, it's one of the reasons why I don't follow religion. It's like no one truly knows. So until I really know, and I don't know when that will be, I don't know if that would ever come to light, but until that day happens, I just can't follow a religion. I can't follow anything, but I have to know something more than what I've been told. A lot of things I've been told aren't adding up. So I just can't put 100% into it. And if I can't put 100% into it, I just feel like, hey, I'll just believe in what I believe in. As long as I'm doing right and I'm not trying to harm another human, I'll be all right.
No, but then that's gonna be the question: what's considered doing right?
Right, but that's always a question. See, we can play this game forever, and this is why I say no one truly knows. So when we get into religion and all these other things, the truth is no one knows. This is all our own individual beliefs. Whether you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Protestant, Baptist, what else you have? Seventh-day Adventist. There's thousands of religions out here, and that's the problem too. Which one is correct? Which one you want to believe in? Which one you want to follow? Is there a right one? Is there a wrong one? So I have all these questions, and I'm quite sure a lot of other people have these same questions. So if there's somebody out here, man, who has these answers, please call in. Let's have a little conversation. Tell me your perspective. If you can answer any of my questions dealing with any of these religions, I'm all open ears. And we're gonna move on from religion. Again, we're gonna go into the V word. We can have a little more, talk about a little more things out here. I want to talk about a lot of pollution and stuff going on out here that I think a lot of us are not aware of, and it's really killing this planet that we're living on. A lot of people aren't paying attention to what's going on because we're so caught up in social media or fashion, cars, whatever the case may be. Like, there's a lot of pollution out here and a lot of things that we are doing that's killing this earth. And I just want a lot of people to pay attention and become aware of what we're doing. Every little bit helps. So the number to dial is 315-925-7262. Or if you want to join in on the YouTube channel, you can log in there. We can have a little discussion. You can join in the chat, and we can all talk about religion. What's your religion? What are your beliefs? Do you believe in the afterlife? Do you believe in hell? I want to know all these. I have all these questions in myself, and I'd like to know some answers. If anybody else has some insight, let me know. What do you think, Blacksmith?
Well, I'm like you. I don't follow a religion, but I'm spiritual. I do believe there is a higher power. I've always had that question myself sometimes, where I just look at how certain religions, like you said, like Muslims, they consider Allah, which to me is still God in some way, shape, or form.
It is what it means.
Exactly. So you want to, at times, criticize, a Catholic, for using the word God, because you say, no, it's not God, it's Allah, which to me, it's the same thing. It's a higher power, someone that you believe in. Just like a Buddhist, believe in Buddha. But that's still their God. That's still their higher power, the one that they believe in.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said it has to be a higher power. Who's right and who's wrong? I don't know. I've been doing a little bit of research. I've been trying to find out, and that's what we all have to do. I mean, you won't know unless you dig a little bit and try to find out. But that's the problem, man. A lot of us are so busy, we're so caught up in all of this BS going out here, man, that we don't take the time to figure all these things out. We don't ask the right questions. We don't go seek. As it says, seek and you shall find. You have to go and seek, man. You have to ask why. None of us are, I don't know. See, from ever since I was a kid, man, I've always been the why kid. I want to know why, what is this, what you're doing, why you doing it, how does it work, why does it work like that? I'll why you to death. So I have a few children myself who, just like me, so I get it. And as a parent, it's very irritating when you're hearing why all the time. But I get it. Sometimes you're just curious and you want to know why. Why is it like that? And we don't always have those answers. So I've always questioned things, man. I've always looked at the Bible in a certain way, and I've read it. So me reading it just gave me a lot more questions, man. And I mean a lot more questions. And for anybody that would like to call in and talk about it, again, my thing with it too is that you really have to sit down and read it. If you say you're a Christian, if you say that's the religion you follow, then you should take time to read the book. You should take time to read the instructions. That book is your instructions. I feel that if that's what you're going to follow and preach, then you should at least read the instructions. Because there are a lot of things in there that I guarantee you'll have a million questions after you read it. So this is why I want people to call in. Let's talk about it. I just want to know why you follow a certain religion. Is it because, hey, you were raised that way? I think a lot of us only follow a religion because of the household that we were raised in. And again, we won't take our individual time to go and do the research ourselves. It's whatever we've been taught or passed down. We take it and run with it without question. So I believe a lot of religion is passed down, but take your time, read it, have a discussion, man, and figure out, is it right for you? Is it really something you want to follow? I haven't gotten any of the answers that questions answered that I've had, and I'll be 50. So it's been a long time I've been asking certain questions and haven't gotten any answers.
What about evolution? You believe in evolution? As far as...
See, that's another thing. Because I like science, because I'm more into that, I would probably be biased and lean towards that because, yeah, what I've learned is that, but evolution takes hundreds, thousands of years. It just doesn't happen overnight.
Things happening with the earth and all of that. Yes, the men were monkeys first, and you kind of missed me with that one. I'm sorry. I just don't. If that's the case, then why we still got monkeys? So,
well, I'm glad you said that. And this is why I said this is where all the contradictions come from.
It just kind of missed me with that one.
You can't say we came from apes, and evolved from there, and at the same time you say Adam and Eve. So which one is it? Either God made us, from the dirt and ashes, or we evolved from monkeys. It's one or the other. So this is where I get confused, and this is why I start to say, hey, man, something's missing. You're telling us two different stories here. So I don't know which one is correct. I would like to know which one is correct. So I'm hoping somebody can call in and give me a little insight and tell me what's going on. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because that's definitely just something I've always thought about too.
I'm about to say I just always thought about it. Like, I don't know. When in school they had the little pictures, where they showed the little monkey and then he got bigger with the humpback, then turned into a caveman, and then to man today. They had those little diagrams and pictures in school.
Hey, there's a lot of things that go on in this world, and I tell my children to look, and this is why I try to enlighten them to what's out here, try to show them different things, different countries, different pictures from around the world, so they can actually see that there's a lot of things out here that you have no clue. Like, you would never even dream that it exists. Mm-hmm. There's amazing things out here. Mm-hmm. And no one knows how it got here, how it was made, who created it. So it's still a puzzle, today. We have all this technology, and we still can't duplicate a lot of things that was supposedly done or created thousands of years ago. So there's definitely something missing here.
I think you touching on a touchy one today, man. You got everybody kind of silent today.
I am. Again, I'm going to go there to the V word. I'm hoping we don't get cut off talking about that. I kind of figure most people wouldn't call in about the religion, again, because you have to tell. I just want to know your religion, why you follow it. I'm not here to bash anybody's religion. I would never do that. But your belief is your belief, So I feel we're all the same, but different. We all look the same, but truthfully, genetically, a lot of us are different. Blood types are different. Well, I think that's about it, man. We have different blood types, and there's a few other different variations. But as far as how we look, same anatomy, as far as bone structure and lungs and heart and all those things, man. But for the most part, man, the only thing separating us is color. So we have to figure out what's going on with that, man, why and how that all, and that was my thing too, where did all that begin? Like, how all this come down to just one color being hated constantly.
That's another topic within itself.
Yeah, it really is. But it's like, hey, man, how you go from the biblical days to now all of a sudden everybody, after blacks, and it's just, hey, if you're black, it's just pretty much you're like you at the low end of the totem pole. So why is that?
And I mean, to me, it's kind of true. Most people are afraid of what they don't understand, or something that's different. I guess. Like I said, that's another topic for another time.
And it is.
man.
But see, based on that too, and this is where I get confused with religion. I haven't come across a religion that really advocates violence. So it always amazes me that most religious people, man, like we say all this together and this stuff, but it's not like that. See, most of the time we're against each other. We're being greedy. Just whatever we can get first. But at the same time, then we preach religion. And I'm like, that goes against everything you're preaching. So you can't, I just feel like you can't do both, man. If you're going to follow religion, then follow it. You know, if you're going to be kind to your neighbor, man, do unto others as you want them to do unto you, then I feel like you should live those words. You can't just speak them.
Well, I mean, I do my best to try and do that. Try and do unto others as I would want done unto me. And at the same time, hey, I treat people the same way they treat me. So, I mean, to me, it still goes hand in hand. I do my best to try and treat you, show you the respect that I want.
Right.
But if you get ignorant, nasty with me, or whatever the case may be, well, then I can do that too. Because now I'm going to give you what you're giving me. I mean, it's
See, that's how I am. And again, I think because we were raised that way, and that's why I understand most of the time it's going to be you're going to react or respond the way that you were raised, man. So you're accustomed to what you see and the way that you were brought up. So, look, we can always come back to religion. When y'all start calling in and y'all want to talk about it, I'm quite sure who's ever been listening, if you can answer any of my questions or if you have any topics, anything you want to touch about religion, please call in. 315-925-7262. Again, that's 315-925-7262. Before we go on to the next topic, which is something I want to talk about because, I'll be the one to say it. So I'm going to probably speak my mind a little too much next time, and I shouldn't. But check out the YouTube page. We have on the left-hand side, you'll see that we do a little bit of advertising here. Well, it's not really advertising. It's what's on our C2C Indie Radio site. You'll be able to see artists. You'll be able to see some of our entrepreneurs, their cards, and some of their businesses. So please check the site out, c2cindieradio.com. If you're an artist, you can hit the, the submit button, submit your music. You can upload your music. It's free. You can have your music played on the radio. You can have it played by request. You can call in. This is totally different from the other internet radio stations out there, trust me. We also have a comedy show every Friday at 1 p.m. with Mike Terry and Jackson. And that is called the No Name Podcast. That name was, I guess, officially elected.
Yeah, it was gonna stick, man.
And I think, what do you have? You have two other ones coming in, right?
So, yeah, actually, I think this Thursday, but they never gave me the name of it.
Okay.
That's gonna be Thursday on the Talk Sports and News station, 6 to 7 on Thursday. They never gave me the name, and then the other one not gonna start till October 1st, which is gonna be a Friday. And that one gonna be every Friday. I believe. What do you say? 8.
Now, what was that one about?
Damn, he gave us the name.
Which one is the sports one? Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's this Thursday? All right. Okay.
They the one October 1st, pretty much what we doing now, man. Just talking about current events, things like that, and getting people to chime in. Just a group of friends that's having open discussions on various topics. Can get people to call in and chime in and give their opinions on the topics that they're discussing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be. We got some good things, coming along, man. It's definitely coming along.
Well, yeah, this is what this is all about. We just wanted to start it, again with me with my podcast. Blacksmith with his. I had a Ride at 5 on the rap hip hop East Coast station. These are things we just started. Anybody out there again with ideas, if you want to jump in and create your own, this is what this is about. I'd definitely like you to replace me. So if you have a podcast out there, you want to talk about something, let's go. Again, I just started this off, man, to put something out here to show people that it's available. So if you have an idea, if you have something that you want to pitch to us, Send us an email at c2cindieradio@gmail.com. Tell us about it so we can get in touch with you.
Been getting a lot of slack off that, man. Was us wanting to step aside and let other people do it. Been getting a lot of slack off that.
Well, hey, man, that's what this is about. I really wanted to play the background, but I need to show people that it's out here and it's available for them. This is a platform for you to come on, you to express your thoughts, your ideas, try different things. Again, there's no failing. There's nothing to feel bad about. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Try something new. This is what this platform is about. This is your stepping stone. So try all your little tricks, whatever you want to do here, man, and see what works, what sticks to the wall, and run with it.
Especially for the musicians, comedians, this is that platform. Platform for you to be able to, like you said, make your mistakes.
Right.
I mean, music, it's gonna be a little different, because once we start getting a little deeper into it, we're gonna have little things where, live shows where people can call in on the spot and say, hey, that was trash, or I like that. And again, that's not us. These are your peers, the audience that you want. So if this audience is not feeling your music or whatever the case may be, and they're telling you why, then maybe you can go back to the table and rearrange, go back to the drawing board and, create something else. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not us. I just want that to be clear to let people know. What you submit to us is what we air. So we don't turn down no one's music. We play whatever you submit to us. It's not us. We play it. The feedback is coming from the listeners, those that tune in.
And when you submit the music, please submit them in MP3 format. That's MP3. We appreciate it. Now back to our topic. Again, this next topic, man, is just something that's, I don't know, bugs me, man, because growing up too, I've always been a rebellious one. I just hate to feel like somebody I don't like to feel like you're making me do something. So I've always had a problem with that, man. I've had an issue with it. Just let me decide for myself whatever I feel is right or wrong. If I decide something and it's wrong, then I have to eat it. I got to eat that decision, man. But I'd rather just tell me everything up front. And this is the problem. So we're getting into getting the jab or not. Whether or not you feel it's right. Again, for me, hell, you have to get vaccinated going to school. So we've all been vaccinated going to school, going through grade school. My children have had to be vaccinated in order to go to school. But I hear different things. I hear that sometimes going through private school, man, none of those things are actually requirements. So it's more just public school, or it's more dealing with the, public programs, man. It's like kind of like your choices. You don't have as many choices as someone who's going to a private school or who has more money.
Blue collar workers.
Well, I don't even think that's considered blue collar, because that's like us, man.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
we the blue collar workers. We the ones who got a guinea pig, so to speak.
Pretty much.
Again, I don't know. I just find it kind of funny. You want to try and these two kind of go hand in hand. You're trying to force somebody to take something that they don't want to take in order to move around in society. It's not even just schools. Now it's going to be, if you don't have it, you ain't going to be able to travel, get on planes and stuff.
Right.
Now jobs are mandating and saying, hey, if you don't take it, you can't work here. It's like, for real. I mean, was all of this the case when the flu first came out? Was they denying people their job, telling people they couldn't unless they got the flu shot?
I think they tried to do something at one time, man. I don't know if they tried to make it mandatory or not, but I remember they were pushing it like that.
Yeah, but it was always an option. It was always a choice.
Yeah, it was. And it should be one now. Again.
Now it's no choice. Just like, Texas with the abortion. How you going to tell a woman what to do with their body?
Well, again, at first, I think even Pamela Harris, she was pushing that it's your body, your choice crap. And all of a sudden, she's backtracking on that, man. So what happened to that slogan? It's your body, your choice.
And I believe it is. The end of the day, like for women, I just look at if I'm a woman and I got raped and I live in the state of Texas, now you telling me I gotta keep my rapist baby? Crazy.
Yeah,
If
unless
somebody try and help me go somewhere else to get an abortion, not only will I get in trouble, but they get in trouble as well. I don't get it.
hey man, I don't get it either. But please,
I don't get
if
it.
somebody else understands and would like to shine some light on it for us, the number to dial is 315-925-7262. Like Blacksmith, I feel the same way. Again, I'm stuck on you. You're able to tell me what I can and cannot do with my body, or again, everyone. What's the word, man? Is mandated. That's the word they use. Everyone is mandated to take this. What you want to call it? It's jab, man.
Yeah.
But them,
you
they don't have to
free.
take it. So-
You're free to make a decision, but with restrictions. So
Yeah.
how am I free to have a choice, but with restrictions?
Again, I'm stuck on the exceptions to the rule, which is them. How do you mandate everybody to have this except for you and then the people around you? Why are you guys not mandated?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's that good and if it's good for the people, then it should be good for you too. So that's where I get stuck. If somebody's really trying to push something down my throat when they themselves are not willing to take it or they themselves are not mandated to take it, I have an issue with that. Now I'm just wondering why no one else does. Again, if you can tell me both sides of the story, and this is what I was getting into about doctors. I always had a problem with doctors every time I go and they want to give me a prescription and you're telling me all these good things. As soon as I say, well, what are the side effects on this? Then the room gets quiet. And that's my problem. If you could tell me all the good things, tell me all the bad things too. So give me that option for myself to decide. And I'm cool with it. Let me decide whether or not I want to take a chance. And you don't have to I don't like to be tricked into taking something. Mm-hmm. Or you telling me everything that's good about it, but again, you're not telling me anything that's bad.
That's the first thing I do. I look it up, see what the side effects are.
But you shouldn't have to, and that's my problem. If you don't ask, they will not tell you.
I got to see, got to know what's going on.
They don't even want to tell you when you ask, man. This shit is crazy. So I have an issue with that, man. So I'm always looking for a doctor who's going to be straightforward with me that I could talk to, and they understand the position I'm at, and so we could see eye to eye on things.
'Cause the money is in the medicine, not the cure.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of people better wake up and understand that. I mean, we can go on, and I can go all into the conspiracy theory things, man. A lot of people, want to preach that stuff. But then, like I said, well, do your research, man. Don't believe any of it. You have to do your research so you can see for yourself. And then you can understand all the things that has taken place in the United States throughout history. And it's not pretty. We are the most forgiving race, man, that I know. We forgive and we forget very quickly, unless it's one of us doing it to each other.
Hard to say, but we the most judgmental.
Yeah, of ourselves, man, which is just crazy. We would judge ourselves harder than anyone else, man. Again, we are not forgiving to our own race.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know, because, like I said, for me, I'm not taking it.
We wasn't supposed to say that, man.
I didn't say what it was. I just said I'm not taking it.
This is what they call that. That's your your there's a liberty, man, right, that you don't have to disclose certain information. So whether you did or not is really none of our business.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm not going to. But
Well,
my
again.
question is, even for those, like when it first came out and it was, giving it to people and they showed, president and vice president supposedly getting it, and there's videos out there of doctors or other people who were supposedly getting it, and there was either nothing in the syringe or the syringe was already pushed down, so obviously there was nothing in it. It's like you and there was videos of this. People supposedly taking it and you see clear as day that they wasn't taking nothing.
Look, there's data on both sides, and again, these media outlets, man, are only pushing their narrative, whatever they want it to be. And I just want people to do some research for themselves, man. It's good and bad in everything. So just don't listen to someone pushing one agenda all day, every day. You have to do your research. Again, there are people who are living after taking it, and there are a lot of people who are dying after taking it. So it's both ways. It's not, and they're not reporting the ones who are dying, which again, that's what I don't like. If you're going to like show something, man, show both sides equally.
Quick to tell how many people have it and died from it, as far as the disease itself.
Yeah, but they won't tell how many people are dying from receiving their little fix, man. And to me, that's not cool. A lot of people with underlying ailments and already health conditions, and you have to be real careful with that. And again, like one person was saying, only your doctor should be able to tell you what's right or what's wrong. If you have a close relationship with your doctor, that person knows you, knows your history, knows what you're allergic to. And that's who should tell you whether or not your body, I guess, again, you have to have a good relationship with your doctor. Because me personally, I don't really trust anybody. So I got to second guess everything you tell me regardless. It's just me. I listen to it, but I'm still second guessing it. I'm still like, I got to make sure, man. I can't see it. There's too much crap going on, man. There's too many things that have been done to us throughout these years. And I'm just not that forgiving, and I don't forget that easily either, especially when it's been done to me. So I don't know. I don't trust it, but again, to each his own. Whoever feels comfortable, that's you. You shouldn't have to feel like you have to hide anything. Same way I feel like I shouldn't have to hide if I don't. I can't believe it's like they're really twisting everything for the people who don't. All of a sudden, you should be embarrassed or ashamed that you haven't.
Now, speaking of being forgiven, I know we jumping from topic to topic.
We said we're going to talk about different things anyway today.
No, we're going to circle back, to certain things. Now, do you think the black community has been really quick to forgive once this police officer got convicted for killing George Floyd? It seemed like after that verdict came in, everything kind of went silent after that. Like there's no more uproar for the rest of those who came before Floyd and after.
Well, I'm glad you said it.
Once we got that, got that victory, it was like they feel that was enough.
Right.
And I truly don't feel that it was enough. There wasn't no justice for Breonna Taylor and all the ones, like I said, before and after Floyd.
We are. And I'm glad you brought that up too, Mike. You kind of know, you kind of know that, for me, this is my opinion, we tend to, like, everything is trendy, man. So, yeah, when, Mr. Floyd, when that happened, man, tragedy struck him, we all jumped on it because it's popular. So we're going to ride it out. And as soon as everything fizzles out, man, we fizzle out with it. And I think that's the problem with us, too. We always jump on something that's popular, man, because we want to be seen and heard ourselves. And that's the problem. We're not really jumping on the bandwagon for the right purpose. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem.
Just want that quick 15 minutes of fame.
Right. And like you said, there's been plenty of people before George Floyd and plenty of people after George Floyd. So this is a never-ending situation. So we should be, like you said, in an uproar, not all day, every day, but hey, we should be on this thing, man, daily, understanding that this is not just a trend. This is not something that you hop on and because it's gimmicky and everybody's doing it, man. This is a day in, day out lifestyle for us. That we always have to be where we always have to watch over your shoulders, over your back, and be aware of what's going on out here. And teach your children the same thing. That's the one thing I get on. I respect certain people for homeschooling too, because nobody's going to do it better than you. So I feel you should teach your children anything. And if again, my children went to public school. My kids have gone to schools outside of public schools, but I still teach them what I know. I'm still going to pass down the things that I was taught, the way I was raised, my household. So I'm still going to have the authority, not the authority, but I feel like what's being taught is going to come from me first. I'm going to make sure, do my checks and balances, make sure they're being taught the things that I feel like they should know.
Mm-hmm.
And especially their history, as much as I know of my history. This is why I'm trying to do more research, and I'm trying to find out things that are not taught to us in school so that I am able to pass these things down to my children.
Yeah, we had these discussions before as far as schools, and again, nothing against the school systems. Um, but as far as when it comes to Black history, we only had was common things that we've heard. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman. That was, you know what I mean? That was it. Growing through school every year, Black History Month, those were the ones were talked about. And there's a lot more out there. And there's also some that that's not talked about. And then the schools are slowly but surely not even talking about it anymore. It's like, it's crazy. I don't know. I don't get it.
All right, Mr. Harris, I got you on the call, but you're not live yet. So good. I'm letting Mike talk. Give me a second. I'm going to put you through.
Go ahead. You good?
You good?
Yeah.
All right, you on live, man.
That's what it's here. That's what we about.
How you guys doing tonight? Just talking about something else, juicy topics, man. I love them, man. I love I'm getting in on these topics, man.
Yeah, we got a couple of topics, man. I want a few people to call in and just like I said, express your opinion. Nobody's going to judge you on how you feel or your beliefs. I'm just trying to get different perspectives so we can get an understanding of different people and how different people think and and learn how to respect each other, man.
Right. Yeah, as far as the vaccine, I've been kind of skeptical too, but I understand, I get it, that, they trying to do something, but in the same sentence, you can't trust everything that's like thrown at you. You do have to do your research and I'm kind of like waiting to, for them to get through the trial period with this stuff because, they find out later on it causes cancer or makes you blind or something, and then it's like, oh man, you have everybody all messed up, So it's real tough times, man. You gotta really just do your research and go with faith, and stuff, man. But with my job, I got to get tested every week now. I work for the school district. And it's like, now basically they're saying they kind of forcing you to get the shot. You want to keep your job, and it's like
that's where it's headed.
Or get tested, or go through the hassle every week of getting tested, and that's not really easy too. Like today, I had to go get tested, and then the people were like, "Oh no, you're just a walk-in, so you got to come down." So it's like I spent like half my morning trying to get tested, and I think that's a frustration tactic. So you'd be like, man, let me just go on and get this thing. My wife got the shot, and her arm may fall off yet, but I'm just more of a skeptic, and anything about that, but she got like different underlying issues, and she just went out and get it, but I'm just not. I talked to my mom today; she's going to get it, so I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that's getting it, a lot of people that didn't get it. I mean, it's to each his own. Like, I worked through the whole pandemic, when this stuff was real viable, but now they got these new strains, and now 8 months from now, from your, vaccination, you got to get a booster. And,
right.
How long is it going to go? You know what I'm saying? Like, so is that shot really working, or is the new variant now, the Delta variant and the Mu variant now, where's this coming from, man? I think it's all about money, man. This is a money thing with big pharmaceuticals, if you ask me.
Always seems to boil down to it.
Yeah, so I'm just, and that's the thing right now. Hey, let's just say, because, this stuff is like basically manufactured and put out here. I don't think it's just out of nowhere, because we should have, our ex-president, I guess, didn't get a grip on it like it's supposed to or whatever, but this stuff is created, man. I think it's biological warfare, if you ask me. You know, but that's just my opinion. I don't, I put no theories out here or nothing, but my wheels are turning right now with that,
Yeah.
But and that other topic you was talking about the George Floyd thing and the police. As a few people know, this stuff been going on forever. Now it's just being publicized and you're able to record it and see what's going on now. Like if that girl would have recorded that, this just would have been another day. You know what I'm saying? And like back in the days when that boy, boy John, got wrapped up on something like that.
Exactly.
They ain't have it. They ain't having no camera and all that, filming that. But it kind of reminded me of that same situation.
Yeah.
And people thought it might just happen with George Floyd. Like, dude, this been happening like for years and years ago. But
I think, man, at least that was over 30 years, man.
Yeah. But remember, Rodney King, hell, that was the first video really of getting caught on film, and still nothing.
Yeah, and they actually got off.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so that's why the city was burned like that.
Right, but what I think they need to do is, well, Biden, for instance, he put legislation in for Asians. Oh, you can't do nothing, and then that went right through bam. Then for the transgender, that went right through bam. But now the George Floyd law is still held up, and ain't nobody voting on that yet. Like, why? Like, we clearly see there's a problem. But I think that the police, if they really want to get a grip on this, start going in their pockets, man. Go in their pensions and their retirements and start taking that money from them instead of the taxpayers. And I bet you see a big different result. Like, man, I ain't about to shoot this dude. I need my retirement. But in the same sentence, if it's justifiable to protect yourself as a police officer, by any means, you do that. But offensively, you know what I mean, being an offender or criminally, I think that money should come out of the Police Benevolence Association. So, like, yeah, you might not be the officer committing that certain thing, but you right there with him, like, hey, no, man, no. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You more have to stop them from doing something like, yo, this coming out of our money. Like, so I just, that was my feeling on that. And I had to call on that because, how real is it? I mean, that's really where that came from. I remember I wrote that little track about that, and I was mad when I wrote that, but I was feeling it was coming from the heart, and it's crazy how it's still relevant today, man.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
It's
I
crazy.
actually play it when I do my ride at 5 every now and then, just to keep it fresh in people's mind. Like, yo, just because this officer got convicted, like, the struggle ain't over. The shit is real. It's still going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy to even to the point of where it's like, hey, if you really want to think about, really want to get down to it, hell, even before the Rodney Kings and in the situation with Johnny, hell, they was pretty much showing it on TV when it was in black and white, hosing us down and beating us. So, but granted, they want to, say it was political then. But, I mean, hell, it was on TV then.
Right. Civil rights and all that, But now they kind of bridge, like, civil rights with gay, lesbian community, all that, too. It's not just black, dealing with black people rights. It's dealing with a whole lot of, rights all in one. Like, they kind of, like, clumped it together. But it wasn't, the civil rights movement wasn't about gay, lesbian, or, transgender, gay, lesbian, Asians, and all this stuff that they just passed through. Now, like, Joe Biden kind of sold us a dream when if you're not black, you're not black if you don't vote for me, basically, is what he's saying. I've heard him comment something like that to that effect, and I'm like, but now you're getting in there, you ain't really, on that same agenda now, because you accomplish your goal. If you say anything to get the job,
No, we do. We go for it every time, man.
And it's funny how you say that. How fast that law went through for some Asian hate, stop Asian hate.
Yeah, I didn't even know
They passed the bill so fast, but yet we still struggling after 400 plus years later. We still struggling for something.
So what that tell you, man?
They shit got passed in 5 minutes, and
didn't it?
as long as it take them to give you an order, that's how quick they shit pass.
Right, and they got, it went. Everybody was for it. They voted to approve it. So that goes to show you right there that we still got a lot of work to do, man. And I appreciate like programs, like y'all guys right here, man. We can talk about that because we don't really talk about these issues like we should, and try to deal with them on a personal, starting with personal and family levels. And if everybody get on the same page, then maybe we could make a difference or make people accountable for, for their actions. We held accountable for our actions.
Right.
Like, I think, police officers should too. They talking about, defund the police. No, don't defund them. Just hit them in them pockets, man, when they start all that nonsense. Because the taxpayers, they just got $1 million settlement, or what they paid George Floyd, $26 million. Now that came out of Emporio, Minneapolis. It's not a rich city, and they could have used that money in other ways.
Well, a lot of us too, we get caught up on just the police, and we only focus on the police. But who's responsible for freeing these police? Who's responsible for not prosecuting these police? See, we get stuck on just the police, and we don't understand why. Why do they feel so comfortable doing it, man?
Because it's a fraternity. It's like, they are a brotherhood. They stick together, man.
Right.
And the blue line, you see them flags like with the blue line on it. That ain't no flag. But you get mad when I sport my red, white, and blue flag. Like, I mean, not my red, white, and blue, but my red, black, and green.
Yeah.
It's like all this stuff means something, man. It's way bigger than us, So we it's good for us to be conscious of it and see when, some things are happening right in front of our face. Like, we live in history, man. Like, when our grandkids and stuff get older, like back in the days when our grandparents and the elderly used to tell us, oh boy, I remember this, that, we listen, but it seemed like we living back in like the 60s again, the civil rights struggle. If you think about it, it's like we went in reverse, man, or in a circle or something. It's, all the racism that's going on right now, and just, it wasn't really like that clear out in the open. When I was younger, maybe it was. I just didn't notice it. But now that I'm older, I can see it so much more than growing up. But I didn't really believe in it. But it's real. It's happening. And people, oh no, you just this and that. Like when I wrote that track, people didn't understand. Oh, you racist, man. But really, oh man, that's too harsh and all this. And that. I don't know. Maybe I was ahead of my time, man. I think like a lot of MCs and stuff are catching on now. They're getting more conscious and spreading the word because like hip hop is one of our outlets and ways of communicating. So, there's all the things on that you do. Like some people about that violence, some people about consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And just the older you get, more mature you get, the more you wake up,
Right.
I hope it don't be too late for a lot of us.
Yeah. I mean, hell, like you said, being ahead of your time. I mean, look at NWA when they did "Fuck the Police."
Right. Right.
A little while after that, the Rodney King beatings happened. So it was like, now it's like, hey.
You didn't know how to live it.
Yeah. It was like, hey, see? So, I mean, I think, it's just my opinion. A lot of people don't care until it happens to them.
Right.
Then now they want some change. Until that happens, they get their little 5 minutes of fame to be in the spotlight, to be down for the cause. But then, like we say, it just fades away.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to ride that wave, and then like Does it die off, or it ain't a major topic no more than, because stuff gets old real fast, That's why, like, the media, like the news and all that stuff, it keeps going. I never heard of no fake news, but back in the day, public enemy, don't believe the hype. We didn't know what they was really talking about, but now we do.
Right. And they're talking about the media, everything that you hear.
Yeah, and we always believe in, this and that. Like with social media now, we look things up and we think it's true or whatever. Most of that be people's opinions, so you really have to get, we don't read books no more. We read, some people do, but who wrote the book? And, you gotta go, like, deep into stuff now. Like, is this person, like, where they coming from, or she coming from, with their, with their views, because everybody's raised different, and, we come from different walks of life. So, if you grew up in the hard life, you can talk about that. If you grew up in, with a silver spoon in your mouth, you can't really talk about the hard life. You ain't never lived it. So we kind of got to just listen and take things and digest it and kind of use it when we need to use it. You know what I mean? Like, just like, we got to take things and slide now. We can't just, like, take things and run with it. Or we hear one word and just, run with it. Remember when that movie Black Panther came out? They thought it was the Black Panther Party movie, and then it comes to find out it's something totally different. Because I think they had a little controversy with that at first. So, people have to see the movie and really, is able to understand it a little better. So that's why you got to kind of just do research and don't jump the gun so much. Maybe I'm jumping the gun on this vaccine or, whatever, but I'm jumping around right now in the topics because there's so much stuff, man, that I talk to you for hours about this stuff. But, my opinion, man, we just got to stay aware and have each other back on certain issues, and, support the cause, whatever your cause is, And like I said, I appreciate, bringing up these topics because they really need to be brought up and heard. Yeah, we're talking about it, but we also put it in action too. Just by doing this, I know some of the younger generation is listening. Like, man, I didn't really know it was like that. And because we didn't really know it was like that, but we were able to understand the science now. Versus before, we just listen to it, go, I ain't concerned with it ain't me, or So, man, it's really very tough times growing up, as far as like on that aspect of it. I feel sorry for like some of these kids out here that they're not thinking about conscious mind. And same with us. We're kind of older now, OGs in the game, so we know what to understand and listen to and not to listen, which is a bunch of BS. So I don't know, man. It's tough, man, right now. Just all the way around the whole board, It's just something that we have to, get a grip on, man. And like you said earlier, homeschooling and teaching your kids yourself, because they're not going to teach it in school, or at least to make it understandable for, the younger generation, because a lot of people don't speak that language. We speak the language a lot of the younger generation really don't understand. So, where a lot of things are coming from. Like, why is this? Why is that? Why do you got to wear masks? A lot of kids ask. I'm like, that's just the way it is. We don't know how long it's going to last. Like the pandemic stuff. And, was this the last days? Or, they always talk about that. Is it? But I heard, as far as that, back to the vaccine, I heard like the Pfizer vaccine is actually nanotechnology, which is like, basically little robots basically building this protein to fight this, this virus in your blood. So, like, what else is it doing? Because you know, I heard claims that where like it's not only attacking that, it's attacking organs and other things in your body too. Because your blood is like the oil in the car engine. You know, it's like going through every part of your body. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just like, no, what else is it like deteriorating? You know, or fighting? You can't tell me it's just doing that. It's just hitting that virus, man. It's got to be hitting something else. You know, it's like alcohol. Yeah, oh, you're getting the buzz, whatever. It's affecting my brain, but it's also affecting your skin, your heart, your liver, you know, other stuff too. So, because of that blood, you know. So, you know, I just have mixed feelings on a lot of this stuff that's going on, and it's good to talk about it and try to get a better understanding. You know, don't stress out about nothing. You know, if you're a religious person, you believe in God, whatever, you got to just, you know, let it play out a little bit and just be safe, you know, the best you can. You know, these people don't sell out of 10-story buildings and still living. If it's your time, it's going to be your time regardless of what you do. You know, so, I'm not nobody for their opinion. I just like to hear, you know, different points of views and stuff. You know, things. And I appreciate. That's why I listen every Sunday because I do want, you know, y'all gonna cover it.
We appreciate it,
like
man.
A lot of things. Yeah, a lot of things I say, man, I be wanting to say, and I'm like, yeah, he's that right. Like that's, you know,
Look, even because again, like I was trying to explain to people, you know, we're new at this, man, and there's not right now. We don't have as much traffic as we like. So any callers that call in, you're definitely welcome to call back. You know, we hang up, and you guys want to call back in. You have a little more to say, please do. Because again, until we pick up and we have, you know, more and more callers, then we'll probably shorten down the length of time. But for now, man, talk away. You know.
Right. You know, because I, you know, it's real out here, man. You know, everybody want to take things as a joke, and life is no joke, man. For real, it's everything's real right now.
It
down
is.
to the.
Yep, I know. Earlier you were talking about Johnny, man. I put up.
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, if you're looking on, if you're on YouTube or not, Mike. But I put up his information because again, this is something that we went through. Man, what was this back in '95? I think, man. It's like, you know, so what y'all see going on with George Floyd, we had to go through back in '95. One of our dear friends, you know, was killed by the police in Pittsburgh, you know, just for driving a nice car.
Right. And said it wasn't insured and all this and that, and they put their knee on his neck and broke his larynx, you know, basically got asphyxiation. That's how he passed away. Basically, what the way George Floyd did. You know, and it was 5 cops.
And then try to cover it up, man, which is irritating to me, man. Yeah. Try to cover the shit up.
And most of them got off. They got off. Nobody got prison time for that.
None of it.
You know?
And none of this would have come to light had his cousin not had played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, none of this would have come to light, man.
Oh, it's just been some another brother, you know, gone on the street or whatever. And that's crazy, man. Like, it could be any one of them, you know. Like, just further matter. You know, we see all the videos where people, you know, like law enforcement overstep their boundaries and taking it, you know, they're above the law. They, you know, you see it now. They run lights and do all that. I'm like, man, they give me a ticket for doing that same thing they just did. Because they have to abide by the law too.
Exactly.
You know, they work for us, supposedly. You know, they're supposed to serve and protect us.
Well, a lot of people don't know that the mayor is actually their boss. The mayor is the boss of the police, man. He's the head honcho. So again, a lot of people have to understand how this works. If you're dissatisfied with what's going on, then maybe it's time to get a different mayor. So you guys have to understand how these things work, man. If he's not doing his job, then he needs to go. He or she, whoever's in office.
Right. And that's the truth right there. That's 100. Because, I mean, you know, anybody. You do something and it ain't really no consequences, you're going to do it. Or going to keep doing it. You know, it's not, ain't not going to happen. I don't care. Because I'm going to get off anyway. You know, and it's crazy how it's kind of geared towards, you know, the young, not really just young, but black folks in general. You know, and it's been going on. It ain't just started you know, in our time, it's been going on for years and years and years, but it's just only now it's documented. You know, it's able to be documented now and recorded. Like, you know, you would have had a camcorder that walking around like back in the days, you know, a camcorder. I think Roger King was that on a camcorder? That wasn't on the phone, right?
That was a camcorder.
Yeah, that was a
somebody
camcorder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so somebody was they in a house, an apartment, or something, kind of like playing the background, but like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whoever did that, man, they started a whole routine because that's kind of like our weapon now, you know, to where everything got a camera on it now. You know, even like the bus I drive got 4 or 5 cameras on it. You know, even you know, there's a lot of stuff. Everybody's just under the watchful eye now, but it don't matter. Like when you're police, you can have body cams, this and that, and it's up to them to be transparent and show really what happened. And you know, it's supposed to be public record. But people forget that they work for us. So you need the police to do something, and you know, they're supposed to do it. Like they're public servants, you know, and they forget that, and we forget that sometimes.
Yeah,
You know, but
that's a fucked up thing though. When you sit there and think, damn, my hard-earned tax dollars at work kicking my ass. Ain't that some shit?
yeah. It's like that's the whole point about it. Like, ooh, I pay your salary, you know, and yeah, and that's the truth, you know, and not only police, but even like in the medical field, there's a lot of stuff going on in that too, you know, like you go to the doctor or the hospital, whatever, you expect them to like go, you know, do everything right, go 100 on it, but that ain't always the case, man. It's like, it's crazy. Very crazy now, times where you have to watch any and everything, even like down to the food you eat now. Like, it's just, you know.
Definitely got to watch the food. Got to watch what you put in your body.
Yeah, you know, I heard like they making rice out of plastic now. Like, how do you do, you know, like, the rice coming from another country and there's nothing but chopped up plastic. You know, like,
yeah. It said this rice sticks together now. You can ball it up and bounce it off the wall. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's coming to a point where you just better plant a garden and you know, live off the land, and then you got to worry about that too. This under the, you know, the dirt you planting the food in contaminated. Because I've seen, like, around where, you know, down the way where they have like a community garden, but they built these boxes and put dirt inside the boxes to plant the vegetables because the soil, the natural soil, you know, that, you know, they couldn't just put it in the ground because it used to be like oil slick under the, you know, it's like contaminated dirt basically.
Yeah.
So you doing food with contaminated dirt, then your body gonna be contaminated, you know. So I don't know, man. It's just gotta keep an eye on everything, man. Life is harder than people think. People think it's just a walk in the park, but it's a lot to it, man. And it's crazy how blind, you know, I was growing up. You know, we only knew what our parents taught us, or, you know, unless you know, picked up a book or really was into, you know, the consciousness of things, whatever, you know. But, you know, and like all that killing black on black stuff now, everybody killing each other. But you say, you know, not on racist or anything, but like, you know, when white guys come around you jot her up. Like we killing our own army basically. You know, not saying there's gonna be a race war or anything like that. I'm just saying in general, like y'all killing our next generation, man. You know, they're killing each other. Like, you know, what happened to duking it out? If you mad at somebody, y'all duke it out, or, you know, maybe get whacked with a stick or something. But now they stabbing and shooting and just hate each other, and they live a block over from each other and stuff like that. That don't make sense, man. It really don't. I mean,
that's what Blacksmith was talking about. When you talking about doing like some community things soon, he want to, you know, have like a little community talk where people get together and we try to come up with some solutions. Like a lot of times we have a lot to say, but we have to start at least trying to come up with some solutions. So again, like you're saying, a lot of these children are out here killing each other, man. So what do you think can be done, if anything? I mean, I know I'm asking you a very broad question, man. And I know it's probably impossible. I'm putting you on the spot, but just right offhand, what do you think can be done? What do we have any solutions for these kids, man? Instead of just saying, "Hey, put the guns down. Hey, stop." You gotta give them something.
Yeah, you gotta give them something else to do. Like if you know that's all they know. You know, you gotta show them something different. You know, because there's a lot of people that follow, you know, something good. You know, but you got to show them something different. And so, you know, like in the older generation, we pass a lot of statistics now. You know, some of these kids ain't ready to be 21, or like 18 or nothing. But you know, like we got grown kids now and stuff. So I think as a solution, man, is just educating them and speaking their language. Because you could say put the gun down all day. Or like you ain't gotta be beefing with each other over some nonsense, you know. They say, "Oh, this gang, that." So it could just be fellas that grew up together, and you know they got each other back. And they grew up on that block. They got each other back, and then two people out of different, you know, crews or group or whatever start beefing. Then everybody else start beefing too, and you know what I mean. It's like a snowball effect in a sense. So we just got to learn how to get along first with each other. Because you think about it, we are one of the only races that really don't stick together. Like you look at the Arabs, they stick together. Chinese, African, you know, a lot of other races, they stick together, man. A lot of different things. You know, like you don't see no brother working at a Chinese restaurant. No, they hiring their own people and you know what I mean, doing their own thing. You know, they got their own money. You know, they be 20 of them. They'll buy an apartment building. They all live in that apartment building and pay little or nothing because you got 20 people paying rent. Or,
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but the question is, look, I hear what you're saying. So do you think we can do that? Can you live in an apartment with 20 people, with 20 other blacks?
Well, I don't know. Our mentality is my, me.
Right.
You know,
yeah, but remember, those 20 people are their family.
All right,
so
can you do it? Could you live with 20 of your family members?
If we trying to build something, I mean, yeah, because it's a sacrifice. We're making a sacrifice to better ourselves.
All right, so then the question is, why don't I see anybody doing it?
Because we just don't. Right. We have the crabs in the barrel mentality.
I mean, but you and Mike, they were just out here and told me that, hey, we can get 20 people, man, fam, live together, build like you see these other nationalities doing it. So again, what are we waiting on? Why haven't anybody done it?
We need, because we.
I think we got to learn how to get along and love each other and really support each other. Be real.
Man, we've been living around each other since the beginning of time, man.
Yeah,
so
we don't.
I know.
Especially
but we
today,
gotta have each other back. We can say all day. We can say it all day, but actually putting it in action.
Right, that's what I'm getting at. So what's holding us back?
Because young black men today don't value life.
Is it just the young black people? I can't even I don't want to point my finger at just the young people, man, because some of the same things were going on when we were growing up. We just kind of camouflaged it or kept it a little more hush-hush. But there's a lot of people, as we call it, hating on each other back in the day. That's why we didn't get anywhere. There's always going to be somebody hating on the next generation or the next person. So the question is why?
That's just
I think we can get together on some things like trying to get money or whatever, but then when it comes to money, then things can fall apart in the same sentence.
Yeah, because somebody's about to get greedy. You know how that works?
And then I'm not gonna say I don't see that in other races, but it seemed like. For instance, the Arabs, they come over here, back in the days, they started out with one store, then, my son want a store.
And
now.
That's why I said that's a family.
Yeah, and now he got his store, and then, my nephew and my cousin got his store now, and then I see him bringing bread from one store to another store, milk, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
if I come here and get that opportunity to better myself, to position the rest of my family. So once I can get that opportunity, the first thing I'm going to do is go get another family member and bring them over here and start setting them up. See, they're bringing their family over. That's why there can be 20 of them in one house. and all of that.
Right.
They're bringing their family over to start. We can do it
And they have
here within has to be within the family and long if our family is on the same page. Black people can do it too. We're just never on the same
Black
page.
people have done it,
And
just
yes,
not
and of
anymore.
course,
So that's what I wanted to say
They
too. So
gave-
what happened to that? Because we did it at one time.
because a lot of the
Right.
for me, I always say a lot of that mentality came from the back in the days, the so-called the slavery. I don't want to say so-called slavery. Let's just say slavery for the sake of argument. Slavery
Well,
time.
you got to remember, Jim Crow laws and all that stuff has a lot to do with it. You know, society itself, where they taught us to hate each other.
And
You know,
that's my point. But
we're
that's
like the only race.
So that means
That-
we all
that-
move
that-
out of the
that-
same house and start to struggle because, hey, I don't want to live with you to save money and bills, so I just rather be on my own and struggle a little bit.
now,
Right. We can't get along. Like, how you can't get along? You know what I'm saying? But then in the same sentence, black families back in the days, the women, the government got involved in the black household. That's where a lot of it came to, where they separated it, where, the dad can't live there, or they ain't going to get these food stamps or these benefits or this and that. But, you know, because black people, we worked and took care of our families back in the days, you know, with little or nothing or whatever. But when it got to the point where the women, you know, had the children or whatever, and they started relying more on the system, they chose the system over the black man. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of it come from too, where, we gotta hide, you know, you seen Good Times, we gotta hide that toaster, and we gotta take his shoes out of here, you can't be in this house, and a lot of our families are broken apart and separated, you know. And
Now,
it's just been
I
that
always
thing.
got to play
Thank you.
devil's advocate, man. So what about the women who are going to say, what about all the black men who ran to the other side? What about the black men who left? What about the black men who don't help take care of their kids?
Right, and that's the thing. You know, they they didn't make it easy. You know, you're not saying it's got to be easy, but you know, a lot of women today, you know, and back then there's two different women. Like the women back in the day would take care of their family, nurture the kids, this and that. Whether they was allowed to work or not, you know, home was taken care of. You know, even like to this day, like I go my mom could, you know, she cooking a meal even though there ain't no family there anymore. Everybody grown and out of the house. But, you know, women these days, they're not cooking. They not, you know, trying to get married and be a wife and really, like, you know, do the traditional thing. I think it's a generation that's just been lost, man. You know, and a lot of values and ways to, you know, hold the family down has been lost. You know, like, now, you know, we had family reunions, so we knew all our cousins and all our uncles and family and everybody. Now, these days, you don't see a lot of that going on. Like, you can be walking past your cousin and don't even know they're your family, you know, because it's just not no togetherness no more. Everybody is independent and you know, I got more money than you, so you ain't on my level, or, you know, that kind of thing, or I got more education or whatever, and that's got to stop. With your education, you should be educating your family or teaching them what you know. So maybe they, you know, you went to college and learned this and that, but you bring that same knowledge back to the base, you know, back to the family, and then the family can use that knowledge you bring. So everybody don't have to go to college, but you know that one smart man, let college come back and educate the rest of the family, and then that's how it's kind of spread, you know, like not just the good things. We spread bad things, you know. We know how to party, you know. We taught everybody how to party and twerk and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? These women, you know, teaching you to little 2-year-olds twerking. Like, what do you know about twerking? Why are you teaching a child that, but they don't know how to tie their shoes, or, you know, like crazy stuff. So I think we just teaching each other the wrong things, you know, as you know, black folks, you know. I think, you know, like, when we buy stuff, we buy like this temporary stuff, but then you see like these white folks buy stuff down, and it's passed down for years and years, and it's gaining value. And I remember Jay-Z was talking about something like that, like he buying paintings and stuff to hand down to his kids. Like now it's worth $500,000, but when his kids get his age, it's gonna be probably 20 million. You know, that same painting, and they keep, you know, there's just a difference. Like some people are rich and wealthy. I never knew it was a difference, but you know, it is a difference. You know, we can be rich, but
Yeah,
rich,
longevity. But there's
rich don't last forever, but wealthy does. Like
yeah.
you know, these rappers buying all these. Oh, I got $1 million diamond on my head. Or what was it? $26 million
the 20
diamond. The whole dude. Are you serious? You
I
know,
don't even know
like
if
what are
that
you
does
teaching the
he
young
really have
generation?
$26
Like,
million,
Yeah, you
man?
hear that? It was
Yeah, I
a
saw it, but I mean, I
$23
don't.
million diamond. Yeah,
I wouldn't believe that's 23 million.
Yeah,
I
somebody
don't.
stole
I
the
don't think
line.
he would have
yeah, but
23 million to burn like that.
But my thing is,
well, that's what I'm saying. We call it burning, but
Not at
23
his
million. You know
age.
what you can do with that?
Yeah, but
You know
even
what you can
that's
do?
what I mean. We don't look at. We just look at, oh, I'm rich, so we just define rich as success. You know,
Right.
like I've always tried to tell my kids, trust me, just because somebody rich, that don't mean they ain't got a job to do. Once you become rich, your job is now to stay rich.
yeah,
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Keep that money. Yeah.
Exactly. So once you become rich, now you got to stay rich. See the difference between being
Right.
rich and wealthy. You know, like you said.
Right.
Then to me, there's a difference between being rich and wealthy, and then that generational wealth. Generational
Right.
wealth is passed down. That's lifetime of wealth. That wealth,
Right.
unless you get a generation that just totally messes it up, that wealth should be there to the end of time. That wealth should just keep rolling over from generation to generation.
you would really have to
Right.
set it up like that.
Yes.
Because trust me, one of these generations will come and fuck it up. Sorry.
'Cause,
But
yeah,
you know what, Kim? You know, just to go back to that thing. Now, we always taught our stuff like instant stuff. We never, you know, we taught our families like instant, you know, instant, like being rich. But like you said, you know, being wealthy, you know, it's a whole different lifestyle. Like, you know, they don't even spend their money. Like, you know, Bill Gates walking around with just a regular old shirt and jeans on and regular shoes. But somebody, you know, our people, they want to have the shiniest diamonds and it's like they want to show that they're rich. Rich people that really got money, they ain't gonna show you they got money.
exactly.
People that ain't got no money gonna try to show
That's
you
what
they
I
got
teach
money.
my children too, man. The ones that you think have money don't.
Exactly.
It's actually the opposite.
Yeah, you know, a lot of these rappers, you be like, man, they so rich now. Like, you know, and they don't do half of the work that a lot of these rappers back in the days did. You know, but you know now that you have to sell units and do shows and really, you know what I'm saying. So it's a whole different time, man. We got to think now, man. It's 2021. You know, like we come from the 1900s. You know, or what they call it, 21st century now. So it's a difference. But just to go back, man, we got a slow start. Man, when we were slaves, so we didn't, you know, we wasn't the doctors and lawyers and stuff back when we were brought over here. So a lot of people got a head start on us. You know, and they owned all the banks, they owned all the property, they owned all this, that. You know, the land they took from the Indians or whatever. So they had kind of a head start. We had to start from nothing, you know, and we had to work with what we had. Just like the slave master shot us with old scraps of a pig, we made food out of every part of the pig you could think of, from the intestines to the pig ears and pig feet and all that. You know, they didn't eat that stuff. They ate the ham, they ate the pork chops off the pig. You know, not saying I eat pork or anything, but I'm just saying that a lot of this stuff comes from early on, man. Like, we still, 400 years is not that long. I mean, I'm not in the sense of time. You know what I'm saying? A
You don't
generation.
think so?
How many generations is 400 years though?
Well,
You know
I'm
what I
telling you,
mean?
man, you got a lot of work, Mike. Because in my opinion, if you give me 400 years, I doubt you're going to catch up.
Right, exactly. They got a 400-year head start.
Right,
bro.
and that's what we
That's
got to
all I'm
understand.
saying.
So, hey, man, there's no time to play. That's what we really don't
Right.
understand, man. They have trust me, give me a 400-year head start, man, and I wouldn't care what you said.
You
And
talking
again,
generation? You talking what? 6 generations, 8
they
generations, like
Right.
great.
they
You
did,
know,
but they didn't at the same time. Yeah, they had a head start. To a certain extent, they didn't, only because, like I said,
We did have.
we had that stuff back in the days,
Yeah.
to where they, you know, gave us an opportunity, and black people, we had our own communities, our own cities, our own
right,
bank, we had our own
right,
stuff, and they looked at it, was like,
right.
hey, y'all can't have that. Burn it down, tore it down. You know what we do?
Yep.
Built it again,
Well,
did it
Black Wall
again.
Street.
Yes, and what they
Yep.
do? Come tear it down, build it down. So, again, it's just my opinion. I feel after a while, they was just like, you know what? We're not gonna build all of this for them to come tear down again. We're just gonna build enough so we can kind of maintain. We stay above water, but
Right.
don't look like we got. And I think that just been the mentality ever since, where it was like, hey, I'm not gonna.
Just think. Oh no, I'm sorry, man. I was just. What I'm saying. I'm just think, for instance, if we could have got all those loans for those houses and cars and businesses, we had owned our own bank, so we're like, oh, I need a large chunk of money to get my corporation started or whatever, and it was there, and it was, but it's so much, we were blocked from getting all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's real talk. Like we, it ain't no excuse. Like people are, oh man, the white man, and yeah, in the sense it does have something to do with that, but in the same sentence, like you said before, man, we behind. We just now starting to really think like that. These people have been doing this, been there, done that, been doing this for generations. Farmers, and we supposed to got our 40 acres and a mule, and we ain't got no reparations. We supposed to got all that. Think if we had our 40 acres, everybody in our family had 40 acres. That's a lot of land. We could do a lot with a lot of, well, your whole family live on the same land, or
And
whatever.
that's
If everybody
why
in
they
the family have
did.
40,
That's why they stopped. Trust me, they started giving out that 40 acres in the mule. Then they see how little land they was gonna have left. It was like, hey, nope.
Right.
That's over
So,
with now. It's too
so
many of
yeah, we
them.
were blocked on a lot of
Man,
things,
if you
man.
do
We were
your
blocked. And
research, I think they said George Washington or one of these presidents have a couple thousand acres, man. Shit is crazy.
right. And we were blocked. Anything we tried to do, it was blocked or shot down or tore up. Look at even like today, like some of the richest black people, Bill Cosby, they tried to take him down with that, Anybody that's in power or that's an icon in the black community
I
always
don't
get
know. I
rich.
don't know if you're gonna go there with Bill, man.
No,
Bill,
I'm just
hey,
saying,
Bill just,
Hey, Bill said he out for a reason.
hey, Bill just. Well, I
right,
mean, yeah,
right.
he made the deal, so he shouldn't have been in the first place. But just like
But he didn't.
Camille know what Bill was doing. Bill, hey, I mean, don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to down another black man or whatever, but I mean, come on, man. Bill, that's like saying R. Kelly wasn't peeing on that little girl. Come on, man. That's
No, he might have been doing that silly stuff. But I'm saying like
nah.
a icon where like that lady came to that man's house, and what lady chick come to your house? You don't offer him a drink?
But
Oh, nah, he poisoned me. You come 20 years later, 30 years later, come out, he poisoned the drink on you. Like,
everybody
come on,
knows
man. With no
that.
evidence.
Everybody know that was Hollywood back in the day. Look at Madonna. She wrote a book about it. Yep, she fucked this one, did that one, but she used the shit to her advantage.
Right.
She used it her advantage. Yep. I know I'm gonna have to sleep with this motherfucker to get to the top or to get to the next person. She used it to an advantage.
Yeah.
And it's just like anytime somebody try to uplift black folks, somebody tear that person down. Even like the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all these, these civil rights leaders and people that pulled us, to get where we at today. Like we wouldn't be talking right now if it wasn't for them people. So I respect that and everything, but in the same sentence, like we still have to keep going, man. That's why I really appreciate the platform y'all have. Like right now, we need this, man. This is history. This is going like when you old and gray and retired, and then the next generation like carrying on what you're doing. That's what we needed. Like we needed this years ago, and it's a beautiful thing now to see this. That's why I'm so excited and just so thankful that I'm able to see these times now. because I always wished and hoped for and prayed for, good things like this to happen. Everything takes time. You know what I'm saying? Plant don't bearing fruit like on the first day you plant it. It takes time. You got to water and nurture it and build it up to something. And that's what I think. We got to water and nurture each other and build up to something. And that's what I think what we have to do, like with our generation. But a lot of these boys is being raised by mama, and your daddy ain't in your life or this and that, and we don't understand that as kids. We just know, when we get older, like, oh, okay, being a man, now I understand, from the man point of view, because I only heard one side of the story my whole life, you know what I'm saying? Until I got older, and I'm like, wait a minute, Dad, we need Dad too in this equation, because Dad gonna bring his part of the equation. He's supposed to be the leader of the house, but how many you think about how many, as far as black folks, how many black men are the leader of their home right now? It's mainly the women, because that's the way they was raised. To be the man and the woman, be strong, and be hard and all that. So they had to bring out masculinity in the black women. That's why a lot of them so boisterous and ready to throw down at any moment. And it's crazy now, man. Like,
and I mean, on the other side of that, because my mother never downplayed my father. She never talked bad about him to me.
Right.
It was his choice to be there or not. She never looked at me and said, "Hey, your father ain't shit." Blah blah blah. That never was the case for me. As I got older, I realized, my father wasn't shit. So she didn't have to tell me that.
Right.
And I mean, but at the end of the day, and I can't even necessarily say that he wasn't shit. He just, didn't want to be a father. So,
right.
At least.
And everybody's not cut out for that. They're not cut out for that. Being that maybe, and not saying I don't know the situation, but like in my father's situation, back in the days, he was raised to be a certain way, and then it just carries on and generational. Like they'd be like saying generation curses and all that stuff like that. Like, oh, it's just my granddaddy was a bank robber, so I'm a bank robber, or I'm a, what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just whatever the older generation teaches the younger generation, that's pretty much how they're going to turn out, more than likely. But unless we make a change, or it has to be some change along the line somewhere, or you the first one to go to college in our family, or whatever, you know what I mean? And it reverts back to being behind, like getting the education and all that stuff wasn't important. Working and putting food on the table was, so it just
like you said, as far as being raised, that's just, I guess, how it is being raised. Because I mean, my grandmother only had a 6th grade education, but you would have never known that talking to her. You would have never known that by what she did, the things how she conducted herself. You would have never known that.
Right. My grandfather, he didn't know how to read. Like when I actually stayed with him, when I was younger, because we had like 8 bedrooms. Like they had 9 kids, so they had mad rooms in the house. And as I got older, I just rented a room out from him, and I used to be there in the house. When the mail come, I would have to read him the mail because he didn't know how to read. So, he knew how to count and talk, and he understood everything. But as far as reading and writing, he didn't know that. So my father, 9th grade education. You know what I'm saying? Me, boom, I graduated from high school. So now, boom, my kid's graduating from college now. So it's me catching up, but we behind in the race, man. So I think eventually we will get there at some point, in time. But I don't know if we'll see it in our lifetime, but maybe our grandkids, kids, might be at that point, like, it might be where we want to be, or, where we setting them up to be, you got to just do our part in this thing called life, man. I call it like that. I call it a thing
Yeah.
called life.
And
It's here temporary.
I just want to say this real quick, man, because we touched on it a little bit as far as we touched on it a little bit with talking about we were talking about land and stuff like that. A lot of people whoever listening and who got family members that actually do, especially like in the South and all that, that actually got land that's been passed down from a family members that's been inherited into a family. They really need to go check out the deeds to those to that land, because I've actually found out that a lot of people, especially in a lot of them hard hit places like New Orleans and stuff with all the hurricanes and all that stuff. So a lot of those people can't get help for those houses because they were passed down and that deed is in somebody's name who done died probably 100 years ago. So they're
Oh,
not getting, they can't get help with rebuilding their houses and stuff because no one else ever got put on that as it got passed down. So a lot of people
wow.
who got family members or who especially like I said, it's really in the South who knows that, or like I said, you may have a family member that's like that. Hey, this land been in our family for hundreds of years. Well, you need to make sure
Right,
it's in somebody's current name, or that they're gonna be in some trouble.
right. So it's
Just
a learning experience, basically.
yeah,
You know.
just some information. I came across that, reading something else, and I came across that, and I'm like, hey, that's something I need to know. Something
Hmm.
that's good to know. So I definitely want to put that information out there to people, man. Because you may end up losing your family property,
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
or
that's deep.
something like
That's
that.
deep. That's deep, and that's knowledge right there. And that's why it's important for us to talk and communicate and to build on things like that. Like what we're doing now. I call this building, and we don't do that enough. I think even like we should have like a younger audience just listening and chiming in too, because they have their opinion or a view on how we see how they see things. We can learn a lot from where their frame of thinking is, where their frame of thought is, and maybe we can try to come together and come up with solutions, with them. Like you was asking me earlier about what we should do as far as these young brothers. That's one of them right there. It's just we need to connect with them, and and because we speak their language, even though they word to do so and that do this. Yeah, you can say all that. Do you know who you wording to and all that? Like we know these people they saying words to so and so. I don't want to say no names, but it's like, do y'all really know what y'all doing? Like y'all, we used to be like word to me. Now you putting a dead person word to this or that. Like stop doing that. And now that's another thing. Like we just gotta come together and build with the young people. We have to pull them in on this. Like we have these building conversations, talking on real stuff, not just like, oh yeah, I'm better than you, or I'm bigger, or I'm richer, I got more money, and all. No, it ain't always about that. We gotta get like
Yeah.
down to the real nitty gritty. It's
All
not
right, now
so one talking.
Seldom
You know.
seen. I'm quite sure you probably seen it over there. The message that came in. It's kind of interesting. Somebody watching on YouTube basically said, "What if we were already ahead, and now it's our time to be behind again? Maybe
Hmm.
we all just get a turn."
Seems
Right.
that way.
So
Again,
you
if you
think
Right.
study,
at one point in time we were already ahead,
yeah, if you study history, man, it shows that at one time China was ahead with Genghis Khan and all these people. Back in the day, we were ahead with the Mayan and Moors and all that. These were black people who
Uh-huh.
ruled and did. Again, I've been trying to do my own little research because my question, I've always been concerned about what happened. Like, hey, man, how do you go from leading to being at the bottom? So I want to know what happened, and the stories I hear is always got to do with somebody, being untruthful, man, and basically stealing your shit, coming to you with
Right,
disease and
following.
famine and taking it away. And it was always the
Right.
Caucasians. So story after story, it's in the history. And again, I don't point fingers. I'm not racist. I can't be. I have family members who are mixed, and I just don't see color. I'm just telling you what I've read. I'm telling you what I've, the research I've done. And you can do the research for yourselves. Same thing with the natives who were here. And there's stories about whether or not all Native Americans are quote unquote Indians, as you call it, that there were blacks that were already here and they considered native to America. So the name Indians were given to them.
Yep.
Everyone was considered native, so Native Americans. And there's stories about that. Again, if you guys do your research, it's just America has a lot of history that they do not want you to uncover. This is why they don't teach you in high school. You only get taught so much. You don't get taught the real nitty gritty stuff.
That right there to me was a question years ago when I was, in elementary and middle school. Because in one sentence you calling them Indians, then in the next breath you call them Native Americans, but then you want to turn around and say, well, Christopher Columbus discovered America.
Right.
So if you just said that they were natives, obviously they were already here. If they were the natives of this country, so how he gonna discover something where somebody was already here?
Well, they claim there's ledgers and things that Christopher Columbus wrote in his little ledger that, when he came here, there were already black people here, people of color. So these are things, again, that they don't disclose to you unless you go dig in a little deeper.
Right. Like, I'm going to come and discover your car.
Exactly.
Like you already in your car. That's your car. I'm going to discover it and say it's mine now. It's just not. That don't even make sense. And we're being taught that, and that's why a lot today we're waking up again. Now they came down and telling the man now, like that's systemic racism. It just past generation. That's how we know. That's what we taught to believe. But and then when now these younger kids like, damn, how are they taking down the Columbus? Statue or whatever, or what's the other one that General, and I forgot his name, something Lee or something, I don't know, I forgot, but they taking out all these, Confederate flag and the Confederacy, and then, all this stuff is like real stuff that happened before our time, but it's all relevant now. It's like coming back into play now, and if you don't know why, why this or why that, then you can't, really move forward on. You can't, you know what I mean? Like you don't know why.
Yeah, well, we had somebody chimed in earlier saying history tends to repeat itself.
Yep.
Right.
True
and
fact.
That's it. Yep. And it's definitely doing it now. So, just look at the time now where it's just, it's reverting back to, we went backwards. Like, we said earlier, we can't, we was going out of pace, and then it slowed down, and now we're going so slow, it's kind of like going backwards now.
Exactly.
So, we gotta get that engine running again, like start moving forward again.
Now I don't know if this lady who just posted on here.
But hold on for a second. Yo, Mike, we appreciate you calling in, man. We want to let a few more people call in, but again, definitely call back. If there's something else you want to touch on, man, definitely hit us back.
Okay, I'm going to keep listening, man. I just appreciate it, man. Like I said, I can build with you. I love you, man. I appreciate it.
And we appreciate you calling in.
Sir.
Later. Yeah, that was an extended version. That's an extended guest, man. That's, he grew up with us. We've experienced a lot of things together, so that's a lot of history there. So, I appreciate him calling in, sharing the stories. And earlier we were talking about one of our friends who were murdered by Pittsburgh police. Basically real similar to the George Floyd incident. And this is, 30 years ago.
31.
So, again, this is nothing new. This has been going on and continues to go on.
But someone chimed in talking about the Pfizer Moderna about the vaccines containing something that it triggers
mRNA. A lot of people think is regular DNA or So that's the Moderna. They make that one, right? Pfizer, the mRNA vaccine.
All right. So what we got? Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson.
and then the Moderna,
Okay, then Moderna. Okay, so the Pfizer is the
mRNA.
mRNA. Okay. But basically saying that there's something in it that can trigger
Polyethylene
yeah,
glycol.
fatal allergic reactions. You know, and that's goes back to what you were saying before. People need to be doing their research on the pros and cons of, of these different drugs. You know, or the V word, since you said we don't want to say it out here. So,
Yeah,
you know.
jab, man. You look again. I'm not. I believe in science. I love science, but I also believe in nature and natural things too. Again, science, I think, and nature goes hand in hand.
Yes, sir.
Science, you just create things, but you're creating them mostly out of things that come from nature. So anything that's synthetic to me doesn't belong in our bodies. Our body is not made to have anything synthetic. So natural for me is as long as I can. Do I again have I taken some pain medicine and things? Of course I have, but I try to really minimize the amount of drugs and things that I put into my body. And if I can help it and not take it, I won't. That's just me.
I mean, we talked about it before, as far as like our grandmother, the stuff that they cooked and we ate back in the
Right.
day, all the stuff they said was so bad for us, and all the pork and all the stuff they cooking with fat back and Crisco, all that stuff that they use, lard that they said wasn't good for us, but we didn't have obesity. We didn't have all of that. When we were growing up.
Oh, you did. Which is funny. I was gonna say a lot. Some people still have weight, but yeah, I don't. I just think it's more the sugar and more the other
I said
ingredients we
were
have
more
today. Because
healthier
again,
back then. And
Mama Chris didn't eat. That's all she ate was pork. So when people say that, it's just like, well, I know somebody who only ate pork and lived to be 93 years old, man.
Exactly.
So again, I just think it's the quality of food that we're eating today. This is why I always said if I have my own farm, can raise my own cattle and my own livestock and grow my own food, yep, I eat everything. But I know you have to watch where your food is coming from. So everybody's not playing fair, and you guys really have to understand that, man. A lot of people, this is about money. If you can cut corners and get more of a profit, that's exactly what they will do. This is about money. It's about making a profit. It's not about caring for the people. It's not about giving you what's best for you. It's about doing what's best for my pocket. So you guys have to get that in your heads. I had a conversation with it's weird, man. Seems like I have the same conversations with my children as they get a certain age. I've had it with my older ones, Jalen, and then Jaden the other day asked me, about people being rich and why is it poor people? It's like, there's so many rich people. Why can't everybody, get a house or be fed and all those things? So then I had to explain what I've always said, and who's going to work? See, like I told him, look, I was like, if everyone becomes rich, who's going to work? So that's why that would never happen. So again, I'm going to tell the story for everybody. If you really believe the rich care about you, then what are they waiting on? I just looked up, what is this, Forbes, richest 400. The top 50 are worth at least $10 billion. So there's 350 more billionaires out there. Just the top 50 have 10 billion or more. Now, with that being said, the population of the United States is less than 8 billion, man. It's less than 8 billion. So those first 10 can give everybody in the world $1 billion and still be good. So what are they waiting on? See, and still be good. So there's no way you cannot tell me there's no way to end famine and hunger. I just gave you some numbers. 50 of the top, like I said, just the 50 top billionaires have 10 billion plus. There's only 8 billion people in the whole world. I didn't say United States, I mean the whole world. So they can give everybody 1 billion and still be okay. So why won't they?
Yeah. And that's the $1 billion question.
You're right. Again, I just gave you the answer, man. Shit, if I make you rich, then who's gonna work?
Exactly.
Who wants to dedicate themselves to be the worker now? Somebody has to work, and it's us. It's the middle class, the blue collar, as you call it.
So if
we take care of the rich, and we take care of the poor.
Exactly. While we get screwed.
That's right. So, hey, man, you either join the rich or you join the poor. But you stay in the middle, you got to work, because we are the working class. That's why they call us the working class.
Yeah, a lot of people really don't don't see it, don't get it, don't understand it. I mean, you sometimes see how like, yeah, this person welfare, whatever, got this, doing that. Like
Hey.
I'm busting my behind so you can
Yeah.
so you can get a free ride. Like, but then at the same time, they telling me once I become of age, ain't gonna be no Social Security left for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I become of age, it's like did it make you say like, hell, then what the hell am I working for?
Man,
like,
I started looking at that a long time ago. Like, damn, you really got to pick your poison,
Like,
man. You want
yeah.
to work, or like you said, I want to go over here and just say F it, because anything short of that, you got to become rich, right?
Yeah, it's like, damn, I'm busting my ass for what? So now when it's my time to sit on my ass and collect, I can't. Like, yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think, see, and I
it's
think
crazy.
everybody is different when it comes to that too. I've always, when I was younger, I thought about retiring, but then it was like, retire and do what?
But I mean, and that's what I mean. For me, it is when I say sit on my ass, I'm just talking about working for somebody else, making another
Yeah.
company rich. You know,
But this is why we have to figure out
fattening their pockets.
how to work for ourselves, man. And of
Exactly.
course, everybody can't start a business because, again, it goes back to the same thing, who's going to work. But for the majority, yes, you can start your own business, whether it's a side business, something small, man. You start off small and you grow it, just like everyone else, man. But you have to start from somewhere, and you can't be afraid to make that first step. You're going to fail, so just get that in your head. You are going to fail the first couple times around, man. It's just the way it is. If you don't, then good for you. You got lucky, man. Keep it moving. But whatever you learn, whatever mistakes you learn along the way, that's what you reach back and you teach the next person so they don't make those same mistakes. So that road is just a little easier for them. And that's what Mike was talking about. We don't stick together. We don't do half the things that we did growing up. Our family, we always had, family get-togethers once a week, man. I mean, every week.
Hey, Sunday.
Yeah, we don't do it anymore. Family reunions, like you were saying, we just started that again. But for the most part, these other nationalities, man, they keep it going. They have family reunions, gatherings all the time, like we used to have. So yes, the black family, the black community has definitely crippled itself, and we definitely are pointing the finger. I don't like pointing the finger at other people when I see that we are actually causing most of the pain to ourselves, man. Especially killing each other for no reason. That really has to stop. So like I was telling Mike earlier, the caller who called in, hey, man, we need to come up with some solutions. We keep saying what's going on and what these children are doing, but we have to come up with at least with some solutions. We got to give them something to go on, man, something to try.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, it's really trying to get them to understand that one, life is already too short.
It is, but you don't
And
understand
life-
that until you get into your 30s, maybe 40s.
Life is also in everyday struggle outside of just being black. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's still a everyday struggle. And all the senseless killing because you looking at somebody the wrong way or because he stepped on your foot. I mean, I get it. We did it in the party. Somebody stepped on your foot, but we fought. Yeah, I mean, you scuffed up my new
Right.
white kicks, because it was always the white kicks that always got stepped on for some reason. You could wear some black ones and wouldn't nobody's touch them. As soon as you come in with some good fresh whites on, they gonna
But again, I feel that's a young mentality, man. At what age do you understand that if somebody steps on your shoe, it's not that important?
Yeah.
That's why I feel like if you're still in your 30s and 40s fighting over someone stepping on your shoe, it's a serious problem, man.
And for me, that's why I said, to me, it was different. I just, grew up around hung around nothing but people older than me. So I've done things young that when I got that age, it was just like, whatever. It's whatever. Because it's like I did it at a younger age. I grew up around it. I seen it. So it was like, that's old.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that. So,
So am I. We got to come together as a community, as a people. Again, we have to stop pointing the finger and stop criticizing so much. Respect, each other's beliefs. Again, I'm not a religious person, but I'm still going to respect your religious beliefs. And as far as what's going on today, as far as the jab, I respect whatever you want to do. I'm just saying, do your research. You know, sometimes you get put in a situation when your back is against the wall and you may have to make a sacrifice. So I get that too. I understand it. But at the same time, still do your homework, do your research. Don't take anything for face value. Read up on your own and find out what you are putting into your body.
Got to be open for some change, open to someone else, to someone else's views. Everything. I mean, I'm going through that situation now. You know, with work. You know, particular person, everything is just one sided. They just want to see it their way. That's it. That's it. They don't want to think about, you know, no one else. It's just all about their right. That's it. You're wrong. They don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we're not going to get nowhere with that. You have to, at some point in time, really stop and listen. And I mean, listen. Let it sink in to what someone else is saying to you. Because we don't know everything. I've had this discussion with, you know, with my younger son where he felt I thought I knew everything. No, I don't. I tell you all the time, I don't know everything. Right. I'm not perfect. By far, I'm not perfect. But I've made more mistakes than you to know. That's the only difference. I've been around a couple more blocks than you.
Yeah.
So it's never that I know everything because I don't. I would never say I know everything. If I knew everything, I wouldn't be sitting where I'm sitting at if I knew everything.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, but some people just feel like, hey, it's my way. That's it. I don't care what you say. You can talk to you blue in the face. It's their way.
Well, I think a lot of times that comes from being young too. I mean, I was kind of like that. Now, I don't want to say, yeah, you know.
I mean, even if I was open to listen to what somebody had to say.
Right.
So even if in the back of my mind, I'm like, hey, I'm still going to do this my way, I still listen to what I listen to what they had to say. Because maybe I would take a little bit of that and, you know, invert it into what I was thinking or what I wanted to do.
Yeah, especially the elders, man. I've always listened to the older people who came before me. Again, if you're dropping some jewels, man, I want to know all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I need to hear that. And these kids need to be able to take constructive criticism. That means someone is telling you what you're doing wrong.
Oh, yep.
You have to be able to sit and listen to what someone else may be seeing, looking from the outside in. Mm-hmm. You know, you guys take it to heart, man, and you can't take somebody correcting you.
Yeah, I mean, but we definitely gonna figure something out, man. I mean, please, anybody who's listening, who got some ideas, anything, like you said, hit us up, man. You know, hit us up on our email, cdcindieradio@gmail.com. You know, let us know, because we definitely want to do something, you know, for these kids in the community. You know, try and get them to change, and no one else is gonna do it.
And we have a number for them to call in. I mean, if you have a child that's out there, just need somebody to talk to. If you have a son, well, yeah, there's no females here, and I'd rather have a female speak to a female because, again, for me, I just think we
can get some females.
Yeah,
we got plenty
right.
of females that can
go. But for the guys, man, younger kids, man, you got a young son that's out here, need somebody to talk to. Have them call in. You can talk to them. Sometimes you just need somebody to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just have some questions. Sometimes you're going through some things, especially as a young teenager. When you're a young boy going through your little maturity age, things happen, man. You have, you know, your little mind is racing and you have questions and no answers. I've been there, so I get it.
You feel like you're the only one going through that problem, and in reality, you're not.
Right.
You know, there's somebody that's either going through it with you at that same time or somebody that already done been through it that can help you get through it.
I think we should do that. I don't know what's good either. Remember, they had the little teen talk thing and they stopped. So I said I wanted to do something like that where the kids could call in. We have, you know, somebody on the board panel, a couple of adults. Kids could call in, man. We have somebody to speak to, talk about what's going on in their community, whether it's in school. I have a kid that's in college right now. And I I want her to start talking about her experiences in college. So anybody that's in high school getting ready to go to college, you guys can, ask her questions or speak to her about what goes on and living on campus. She runs track. She has a scholarship running track. So even if you're dealing with the sports, you can talk to her. She can give you your insight.
Something that's going on the home front. I mean, you ain't got to go deep into details, but we're not trying to be counselors. We just want to give you a platform, a place where you can vent and get some encouragement or some ideas to where if you feel you need some extra help, you can have some places to go, to get that.
Mm-hmm. We're also going to start. I think we may incorporate that one into the community thing, or depends on how many people we get to call in. Because I also want to do something with the teachers. I hear, there's a lot of teachers and nurses. So I hear a lot of teachers and nurses, man, with complaints or things. Sometimes they want to voice their opinion and they can't. So I want a platform where teachers can voice their opinion about what's going on in the classroom, what they would like to see. Have what changes they like to see as far as parenting, parents bringing their children in, relating more with the parents, as far as the school districts and what they would like to see change within the district. A lot of them can't speak out or don't have a platform they can speak on, and I think we need to hear what they have to say.
Definitely. What's that saying? Reach one, teach one. Something like that.
Yeah, each one teach one.
Teach one, yeah, and that's what we need to.
We really need to get back to that.
Yeah.
I think the black community has lost that. We don't want to. I don't know, man. Y'all got to talk to me. Somebody call in and tell me what's up. It's like we don't like to see the next person get ahead. It's weird. Like I don't know. I'm not. I just can't. I just don't have that jealous bone in my body, man. If you're getting ahead, I'm cool with it. I feel like hell. If you are who you say you are, even if you're not, I mean, what's the worst I can do with me asking? Mm-hmm. If you're getting ahead, I'm going to ask, hey, all you got to do is show me. I don't need you to do it for me. Just show me what you're doing so I could duplicate that and get ahead too. That's it.
Because now we're becoming competition.
There's no need to hate, man. I myself will show you anything that I'm doing because, shit, I like competition. It makes my juices flow. It brings out the best in me, man. So if you want to compete, I'm ready for it.
Some people don't want that, though.
Hey, man, I feel like that gets to get your engine moving, man.
Yeah, I get it because, I feel the same way. I don't mind no friendly competition. Hey, you keep me on my toes, keeping me sharp.
That's what it's about.
Keeping me on my A game. So, hey.
Can't look at it as somebody's getting ahead. And, I mean, again, I see it as I know what I want anyway. So you might want something different. So I'm not going after the same thing. So there's no need for me to be jealous. If you have more, good for you. What I need, I won't need what you get. See what I mean? So it's like I'm going after what I want so I can get what I need.
I had, friends always said that to me. Why y'all always give somebody this information or whatever? Hey, I don't care. Listen, if I'm giving you something that I'm doing, I'm not worried about you outdoing me. I want something that I give you. That's why I'm giving it to you. It's just not in me to let you outdo me on something that I'm giving you. If I done gave it to you, that means I'm already a couple more steps ahead of you. So,
you know what I mean? And plus, like I said, man, look, it's not about that, man. If you truly want to see everybody get ahead, man, help. We all got to help each other get ahead. It's the only way we're going to get ahead. It's the only way we're going to stay ahead.
But we got this, like I said, that crabs in the barrel. That's selfish, man. That's selfish,
but you see where that gets us. It gets us every time, man. It just brings the whole community down.
That selfish man attitude. That's what it's all about with us, man.
Now, what do you think? See, now is that a taught behavior, a learned behavior? Is that just in you? Can it grow out of you?
Because I wasn't that type person, it's hard for me to really say. Because, you know what I mean? To say, well, was it taught? I can't say because we weren't taught like that. Mm-hmm. So, is it something that's in you? I don't know because it's not in me to be like that. So I truly can't really answer that. I don't hate on nobody that try to come up. I really don't. Like you say, hey, I done had friends that I went to school with who done, made it to the NFL and NBA. Hey, I'm not mad at you. We played on. I may have been one of the ones to help you, develop your craft. Right. So more power to you. I'm glad you made it. It's what you're gonna do after you make it.
Yeah, we really have to stop pulling each other down. We really got to wake up. Understand that even the social media is getting crazy. Everybody, just want to put things up here just for likes. I don't know. I'm just not into it. Like, there's a lot of things I can talk about, the little juicy topics that I know people want to get into. But when I go on YouTube, when I go on the internet, I see everybody talking about it. So it's like I don't really want to get caught up in everything that everybody else is already talking about. Of course, we're all going to say some similar things. But for the most part, I just want to get in some other topics. This is why I always tell you guys, if you have a topic, something that you want to talk about, send it in to us at c2cindyradio.com. No, that's a Gmail, c2cindyradio@gmail.com. Just send us your thoughts. Any topics. Again, if you guys want to start your own podcast, if you want to come get on the radio, c2cindyradio@gmail.com. Tell us what you want to do, and we'll get in touch with you.
Yeah. See, I'll have somebody chime in the chat just saying people don't like when you're doing better than them or more than them, or if you got more than them. And that's true. I mean, but that's the question that we're saying. Why? Why is it that we are the ones? We're so jealous. And this,
I think that's in everybody.
yeah, but most other cultures somewhat stick together.
Right. I was going to say we do it to ourselves. Like, we're jealous of each other more, I think, more so than other cultures. If we see another culture do it, I think if we see each other doing better, it it resonates a little more to us than seeing another culture get ahead of us.
It goes back to, some previous conversations we had before as far as like men and women, in relationships, where guys, if we see one of our friends got a good girl or whatever, we say, hey, you know what? Man, I need to get a girl like that, a girl like that. But now you got some women who will look at their girlfriend's man and be like, hey, I want him. Not I want to get a man like him. I want him.
Now, do you think so? You getting like who was that? You getting like the boy now? Another conversation. So you believe that's only for women? You think only women think like that?
There's some men that do that. Don't get me wrong. I done seen dudes cock block trying to, I done seen it, but it's more girlfriends. How many men do you hear say, hey, I don't want that dude around my girl? Or, as far as their own friend. You got girls who they friends be like, hey, I won't leave that bitch around my man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we don't do that. There's not too many of us that do that.
Yeah.
Because if you my man, I'm not looking at your girl like, oh, as soon as you step out in the room, I'm trying to slide into it.
Well, like you said, you're not. There are some out here that will.
And there are. That's what I said.
I guess what you're referring to as friends, because dudes, if we're not friends, that's exactly what another dude, he waiting for you to leave the damn room.
But women who are friends will say, I won't leave that bitch in front of my man. You know what I mean? That's your girl. You don't trust your girl in front of your man? Like, I don't get it. Like me, I done been around a lot of my boys' girls when they wasn't there. Shit, like, I'm not trying, and they know, you know what I mean? And they know I'm not trying to get at their girls. So they comfortable with leaving me. Yeah, I don't want your girl.
It just comes from greed, man. We want everything, and that's an individual trait, man. Every individual has to be able to control their own individual sins or greed. Whatever thoughts that you're having, it's up to you, man, to be able to control that. That's what I was tying that into earlier about religion, about all this stuff, because it all ties in. The way we think, again, for most people who are religious, I just wonder why they do some of the craziest shit. I'm like, hey, man, if you really are into your religion and you believe in what your beliefs, then it should really stop you from doing a lot of these things that you're doing. That's just my opinion.
Because we all ain't perfect. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, we all make mistakes, and that's my point.
But that's their cover up for it. Hey, I can have a relapse or whatever the case may be.
You can have a relapse. You can cheat. You can lie. You can steal. You can kill. You can do it. Hey, man, there's an exception to the rule in everything we do, man.
Like they say, you wanna be in church, hallelujah, pay your tithes and offers on Sunday, but Friday and Saturday
Shit.
you in the club
Party like
shaking
a
your head, shaking your
motherfucker.
head.
Shit.
So
Hey, I don't get it. But again, somebody call in, explain it to us, man. We can have another conversation. I'm trying to figure out what next week topic is going to be, but I want to make it more. I want to make it where people call in. So again, I don't want to follow trends, man. I don't like to follow what everybody else is talking about, but I do want to talk about current topics. I want to stay in the loop, keep people informed on what's going on. So I want to make this podcast a little more informative, especially for people who want to get the jab or not, people who want to talk about other subjects. I'll try to do more research what the topic is going to be, and that way if you guys have questions, we can all do the research and look it up. And that way, like Mike was saying, each one teach one. We have to be accountable for each other, man. We have to look out for each other, make sure that everybody stays abreast. And like I said, if you get some information that is not for you, then it's not for you. Sometimes people say things and we get all bent out of shape. It's just not for you.
Exactly. You ain't gotta take it personal. Hey, that's just not my thing. That's
Right.
not for me. But we do, man. Please, people, start. Email us. Some topics, some things you want to discuss, some things you want to talk about. Each week, man, topics just get better and better. Conversations get a little more deeper and deeper. And like you said, call in. Hit us up. On the YouTube chat. Give us your comments, your questions, and your feedback. That's what we're here for, man. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, that's right. And again, every Friday, 1 p.m., check out the Comedy Poetry Station with Mike Terry and Jackson with the No Name Podcast. Every Monday through Friday, 5 p.m., you got the Ride at 5 with Blacksmith 24/7. Every Friday, Saturday night, if we're up, you got the Who's Up with HG Wells, Seldom Seen. And every Sunday, 7 p.m., you have Nowadays with your host, Seldom Seen. We appreciate everybody coming out, listening to the podcast. Again, if you guys have any topics, hit us up, c2cindyradio@gmail.com. Let us know what you want to talk about. Give us your thoughts so we can talk about them. Anything else you want to say, Blacksmith?
Nah, just don't forget this Thursday, 6. Is it 6? Yeah, 6 to 7.
Okay.
On the Talk Sports News Station. Just don't have a name yet, so just be looking out. We will be advertising it. Make sure y'all go follow us, like us, all that. Instagram, Twitter, C2C Indie Radio, Facebook, C2C Indie Radio 1. Like I said, you can also follow me, Blacksmith247 on IG and Twitter. BLK Smith 247 on IG and Twitter. And that's it, man. We just ready. And the other one we got coming in October. So, we got a little time for that, but we will be advertising and letting y'all know, about the two. So we got 2 new podcasts coming. One this Thursday, another one October 1st.
Yep.
And that's just, how we expanded and growing in here at C2C Indie Radio.
And we also did another live, what was that?
At the showcase.
Yeah, we did a
last
showcase
night,
with
yes.
Legacy Artist Productions. So I think that's going to be probably a monthly showcase with local artists.
Yes.
So make sure y'all tune in for the live showcase where, local artists come in, they do live performances. We had one last night. Go to our YouTube page, check it out. Hit subscribe button, likes. This is all for the local artists, man. We want to give them some thumbs up and give them some recognition.
Yes, and I will say we actually had our first female performer, rapper, singer. Shouts out to Miley Love. She really did her thing last night, man. The fellas was impressed. She held her own, with being the only female with all the fellas, and she really held her own. She really got their attention, and they really was vibing with her. So, shouts out for her for coming out, performing, being the first female to actually be on one of the showcases.
Yeah.
So, be on the lookout. We gonna be doing an interview with her soon too. So be on the lookout on our Rap and Hip Hop East Coast station. We definitely gonna do an interview with her, man. She's definitely one to be looking out for.
All right. So again, we appreciate you guys coming out tonight, listening to the Nowadays podcast. See you next week.
Ain't nobody tryna stack nowadays. Everybody just wanna be where it's at nowadays. Real talk, that's a fact nowadays. Very few got your back nowadays. Chasing money ain't the same nowadays. A lot of niggas ain't the same nowadays. Flip game ain't the same nowadays. No, nothing ain't the same nowadays. Chasing money ain't the same nowadays. A lot of niggas ain't the same nowadays.